Welcome, everyone, to the ABOO Leadership talk for today. And it's a series of talks, but today I'm Melanie Gow. I'm an author, a TEDx speaker, and ex-filmmaker turned business and productivity coach who's standing in for Lucy McCaracha, leader of the ABOO Leadership Mastermind, that both I and Paula, today's presenter, are a part of. So, without further ado, I'm delighted to welcome Paula B Groves to talk about her Me Infinity Goldmine project with us today. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you so much, Mel, and thank you everyone. Oh gosh, I'm so thrilled with who's on this call. Thank you.
Don't start just yet, Paula, because I'm going to tell everybody a lot of great things about you.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
Yeah, let me get that bit in.
Okay, thank you.
I have the greatest of respect for you, Paula, particularly because you are a celebrated artist and a sculptor. You create incredible sculptures. So Paula has been researching this climate change project for the last 4 years. It's taken over her life. And this has led her to develop a completely new medium of expression. Because after 4 decades as a visual artist and a 3D artist, creating huge sculptures that are owned by people all over the world, including celebrities, she found the constraints of the 2D format of writing, and putting this in, say, a book, for example, to be just too challenging and limiting. So what you are about to witness today is an extraordinary evolution of art. And we're going to be the very, very first to hear about Paula's new methodology, Toolboox, a treasure map. So here's just a bit of an invitation. When Paula's speaking, please do put comments in chat. I'll be curating them along with Michaela, and then we'll be asking questions at the end. But your feedback, your takeaways, what's intriguing you, questions you want to store for later, please participate, and I'll be facilitating that bit at the end. But without further ado, I just want to hand over to the genius that is Paula B Groves.
Gosh, well, thank you. Sorry, I shouldn't have laughed so much at that last word. So I really want to thank everyone who's jumped on this call. Some faces that mean an awful lot to me, and some new faces as well. So, and everyone on the replay, thank you for this. So, as Mel said, I have been working on this project for over 4 years, and it has absolutely changed my life. And if I stay with numbers first, okay. So number 4, I've been doing this for 4 years. I'm going to be doing this for another 4 years, and I will be rolling this out in September the 12th. I'll be rolling this out, and I want people to be jumping on board. That's why I wanted to share some stuff, because I wanted to be testing this with some of you, if you should be interested. So another 4-year situation is, four situation is the sub 4-minute mile, which was run, as you may well know, originally 70 years ago by Roger Bannister. However, today is the day that John Lundy was the second person to run the sub 4-minute mile. Now, it's only a matter of weeks between the two. And I believe that we are now at the most unique time in human evolution, where we were in a position 70 years ago where we were of the opinion that we couldn't pass the 4-minute or run a mile in under 4 minutes because of what it would do to us physically. And now I believe we're in the same situation with our perceptions of our minds as to what we're capable of. And so this is why this project has taken me so long, because it's taken me down rabbit holes that I never, ever imagined. So what I want to do, I want to give you, I'm going to be a little bit sort of ebbing and flowing in how I share things, because this whole thing has been evolving, and it is evolving every day. So the project is for over 4 years. So we've got 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027. So this is the next 4 years. This year, 2024, there's 24 hours in a day. And I believe that we are born to evolve on a 24-hour basis. So 24-hour evolution. And that is how we're naturally meant to become everything we're meant to become. There's relevances for every number here, but if I just stick to this, so I believe that we're meant to evolve. That says evolver. I'm learning to write on a chalkboard. Okay, so I believe we're evolvers, and we are born to evolve on a 24-hour basis. And I have discovered things on doing this project that makes me believe that that is so. So that is what I want to share with you. So at the start of this project, as Mel was saying, I wanted to get clear about what I was doing on, oh gosh, I'm getting nervous now. My wife's jumping on the car. Oh no, she said she wasn't going to join. Damn. Can someone kick her out? Hang on, this isn't fair. She's going to have a camera off as well. All right. Back in the room. So, at the start of the project, I was a sculptor, and I've been a sculptor, or I've been an artist for over 43 years. I started at the age of 12, working in my family business, and I was drawing perspectives of kitchens. That made me want to become a kitchen designer. Kitchen designer. I didn't want to be a kitchen designer, I want to be an interior designer, because I thought that would be so cool. So I spent 6 years dreaming of becoming an interior designer. So when I then finally did that, the image of what I thought that would be and what it was not one and the same. So this is a key point, is what we're imagining might happen and what happens is never one and the same. And I believe we're in a position of, we've got a problem with imagination, and we're in a position where we need it more than ever before. Okay, if we're not in the here and now, then we are living in our imagination. So I think it's quite critical that we enhance and grow our imagination. Okay, so start of the project, as it was said, I was struggling with working in a book form. And I know Lucy because I did a training called Key Person of Influence, which is KPI. And writing a book was part of the project. Now, at the start of COVID, I was in a position where I had these really exciting opportunities. I've just finished a project called Mars and Beyond, and then I'm talking to the National Theatre to work with them and use scrap with the National Theatre, and really exciting, Art for Offices. So just about to take off in my Art for Offices when we went into shutdown. So then I'm in a very different position. But then 3 things happened during February, and I call those 3 elements and a journey. Now, the 3 things were, if I just wipe my board off. So the 3 things were, there's a, let me write this down. So we have Earth. It was a quote by Sir David Attenborough, and he was speaking of the Earth and the position that we're in with the Earth. Then there was a poem by Laurie Ogden, and that was the wind, as I saw it. And then there was the fire. Hang on, can you see? Yep, sorry, just checking you can see. So 3 elements. We've got the earth, we've got the wind, and we've got the fire. So the quote by Sir David Attenborough, if you've seen me before, you'll know about this. So Sir David Attenborough said, in 26 words, we must learn not to be so greedy, not to waste power, not to waste food, not to waste space, and crucially, not to waste time. I've had that quote in my head for the whole time since then. And then wind. I went to a climate change conference with where Laurie Ogden, who was a poet, read a poem at the end of it. And the poem was so compelling. And at the end of it, where she paints a picture of what the world would look like in 10 years if we do nothing to change how we're currently running things. And she actually, she said, and the last few lines of her poem were, after she's painted this picture of how it be, she said, I did not act, I did not change, I don't know why. And I don't know why was the piece that stuck with me. Why don't we change when we know what to do? Why don't we change? That's really key, that's really critical. Then the third thing was the fire in Australia. And half a world away, I felt completely incapacitated as to how to do something. And it's like, what on earth can I possibly do? And it just felt like it was raging for so long, and yet nothing was happening. And nothing was changing it. And what could I do? And then I saw a TED talk by a lady called Lorna Gassner-Otting. And she said that when there's an emergency, we ask the wrong question. We shouldn't be asking, what can I do? We should ask, what needs to happen? So throughout this whole project, the key points have been, for me, Sir David Attenborough. He told us what not to do. And then he said, we must learn. And then there was the poem asking, I did not act, so we didn't act. We didn't change. I don't know why. And then there was the fire. And so what needs to happen? These have been the key themes that have run through for me for the entire time. But what the problem I had was how to spell it out in words. And I've been struggling with this, and people in this group, in my mastermind group, and also Lisa, and obviously my wife, she knows how for 4 years I've been struggling to articulate this. So initially, when I think of the earth, the wind, and the fire, we've got planet, people, and profit. And if what order they come in makes a difference. So if we're focusing in on a target, and then we see that that is profit, and then people are in the middle, and then we have the planet is on the outside. If that's then resources, it just seemed out of balance to me. And that I was working on this and struggling with this, because I then felt that in actual fact, this isn't how I see things. Because like that could be a plan view. And then you've got something that looks like this. And then it would look totally different as a thing. And then that's then if you think of the Maslow's hierarchy, I was thinking sometimes these things seem upside down to me. So then in actual fact, well, what if that was then in 3D, and then we were seeing things differently? And then you turn it the other way, and it could just be a spinning top. And I started to look at things in different ways, that this wasn't speaking to me. But I realized that actually words weren't the problem for me particularly. It was the ways that they're used. Now with words, it's kind of interesting, because they say that words are only, and Lucy can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but words are like 7% in terms of body language and how we communicate, and words and things that when we're talking. But in actual fact, the voice in your head, words for me are 100% of the voice in my head. And the trouble I was having, that the words that I had in my head weren't helping me. So a key thing at the start of the project for me was what Dr. Arman calls ants. He calls it automatic negative thoughts. So it's the ants that I had in my head that were causing me these problems. So start of the project, had these things that happen. We go into lockdown and I had this seed of an idea to coalesce and blend all of these three things and make it into an art project. So I'm blending these ideas, having art, and it's developing all of the time. I'm exploring the ideas and what it is and what it could become. But I've got these ants in my head and they're telling me all of these crazy things. So I'm in a position where I'm exploring these ideas and yet I'm really, really struggling. And then I'm thinking, well, if I can do things differently and change up the words, then my life will be transformational. And I was in a blessed position where I was able to take on two coaches. I took on a business coach and I took on a health and wellness coach. And my business coach is here on the call today, Lisa Zevi, and she is an absolute superstar. And it also Serena and Eugene Sabala of Whole Shift Wellness were my health and wellness coaches. And something that Serena said was about crowding out. So what I find incredibly effective is if we crowd out the words live as they come up. And so I've found that to be staggeringly beneficial in order to be in a position where I've dealt with my ant situation, is that I crowd out the words with a better word live and when as it's happening. And it's just been transformative. But something else that I realized started to happen is that I started to look and analyze words in a very different way. So just to share a piece of that is at the start of the project, one of the reasons I took on a health and wellness coach was because I was of the opinion that I was from a dubious gene pool. Because both of my parents were diagnosed with chronic health conditions when they were 60 years old. So that's one of the reasons I took on a health and wellness coach, because it's the start of COVID and health is on everyone's mind. So I was of the opinion that I could potentially as well be in that situation when I was 60. So that was the key thing that kept me running down these seams of understanding, is this idea that I am at the mercy of my genes. So when my mum was in hospital, I was, before she died, I was, she always played with words and did crosswords and things, but her name, is Pamela. And my name is Paula. And when she was in hospital and I looked at these words and I realized that if you took away the same letters, then you were left with me and you. And I really then got this thing about middle words. And that has really informed the project. So sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit because there's so many things that I'm keen to share with you. So, okay, let me get down to it. I have developed systems and methodologies to be able to get rid of the ants in your head, to become the artist that you want to be, and to be living the life that you're born to live. It just seemed critical that we are on the wrong path and we're doing the wrong things and we're not following our dreams. The dreams that I had of being an artist, I wasn't pursuing. We're in a society that doesn't necessarily encourage artists, and the words that are used, like getting a proper job, weren't helpful for artists. Art is a proper job. Art's valuable. Art makes a difference. And on the profile picture that I did for this talk, I'm stood in front of a picture that I got that I originally saw a bigger version of this in the hospital when my mum was poorly. She'd just been and seen someone and was told about, because her breast cancer had come back in her brain, and she was told how it was going to play out, and we didn't know if she's going to be able to walk or talk or how it's going to play out for her. And there's a picture of buttons, and we're walking back to get through the hospital, and we see this huge picture of loads and loads and loads of buttons. They're just like shirt buttons and things. And then we walked over and we're looking at it, and we both started to laugh, because one of the buttons was, in actual fact, a gerbil. And so in amongst all of these buttons that are just formally laid out, there's actually a gerbil. And this, I think, is one of the key things about art, is that it helps us to see the world in another way. And so I have worked on this project and developed this concept that can enable us to switch how we see things in our head and become the person that we want to be by taking different steps. And if I could just show you something here to explain that. So if we have, if this is live, and this is, oh, hang on, wrote the wrong thing. If this is live and this is life, this is everything that has happened in our life. This is our conscious, and this is our subconscious. Okay, so this is everything that's coming in, and this is everything that's within us. And these are the words that we're holding. These are the words that we're containing. These are the stories that we tell ourselves. These are the emotions that we feel. So this, as Daniel Priestley said in Key Person of Influence, this is our mountain of value. So that's our mountain, MOV, our mountain of value. And what is coming in is our point of view. And that is determined by what's in our mountain of value. But as our point of view, that depends on how we tell our story. So this is influenced by this is a pencil. This is the words that we write, the words that we say, the stories that we tell. This might not look like it, but this is a fountain pen. This is the ink that we write down with. These are the things that we say. This is the words that we put down. And this, this is an art one. This is a scalpel blade. These are the things like how we edit. These are the things that we cut out, and these are the things that we don't say. And this is pivotal for how we operate, because this is our currency. This is how, I'm moving into this. This is our currency. This is how we see the world. But this is our gift. This is our resources. Everything that's in here, in our mountain of value, is our resources. And this is our gold mine. That is inside of us. That is inside of us all the time, every single day. And it's the words that we put in, and it's the way that we speak them and articulate them that makes the power of difference between us, whether we have a good day or whether we have a bad day. And we are in control every minute, live, to make a change to this. So we have, this is our gift, and this live is present. So that's our present, that's our gift, and this is our currency. And that's the thing that makes a difference between as to whether we're happy or whether we're sad or whether we take on an experience and it's good or whether it's bad. So I'm afraid I am jumping around a little bit. There's so much that's happened on this project, and I woke up this morning and decided I wanted to do things very differently. So just let me share that, share that with you. On the 24-hour evolution thing, okay? So this project has gone on way longer than I anticipated, and it's been a self-funded project, and I'm in at a point of it having to come to an end, at exactly the point where it's ready to roll out and share with people. So I'm ready to go to the next level on things, but I've given myself a 24-hour challenge. So what I'm wanting to do is, after I have finished doing this presentation that will not cover everything I need to do, I am then going to put this into a toolbook, which is what I'm speaking to you about, is a thing I've wanted to do, because the trouble was that not just I couldn't see, I see in images, not in words, but I was in this position where in getting a book published, every image was going to cost more money and make the book more expensive. And yet everything I wanted to articulate needed an image. So what has happened is I developed this concept called Toolboox. And the idea is that you can express yourself in images and a multimedia document, and then you can tell your story. And it's still, I'm afraid it's still tricky for me to articulate this a wee bit, because it was only, was it Monday of last week was the first time I did a visual presentation to share this. And this grows and changes on a 24-hour basis. You wake up every day and you've got more thoughts, more ideas, more ways of seeing things. It's absolutely extraordinary. So what I want to do is, thank you, someone else jumping on board. But what I wanted to do is, I wanted to give you some of the gist of what is happening. I want you to then see how this can play out, and I will then put this into a book form, and I will then can send this to you and for you to see. And then wanted to roll this out and share with the community, so that I'm in a position where other people can potentially use this, and we could work together, or you could, I want it to be give you enough information that you can do it and understand it. I'll be doing a podcast to explain all of these as well. So this is a working dynamic project. And today my challenge is, in 24 hours I want to get everything of this concept written down in a toolbook that I will share with you later on today. And before that point, I will then take it to Sir David Attenborough, who I've been in communication with about this project, and drop off a version with Sir David Attenborough, and also go and see a gentleman called Simon Squibb, who is hosting a project across the country and the world, in actual fact, asking people what their dreams are. So I am keen for people to be able to live their dreams, share their dreams, and then be able to live the life that they're born to live. Because then, if we are living true to our hearts, then we are energy efficient. We're living the most authentic self. So the reason that Laurie said, I did not act, I did not change, it's impossible to change if we know things, and then but we're not living an authentic life. So sorry, I've really drifted around on some things, and what I'd like to just share with you very, very quickly is, there's an ABC of this. So let me get a different chalk. The A, the B, and C. The A is alchemy. The B is biology. And the C is clarity. And we get these are the alchemy is the end result. Biology is our nature, and this is nurture. Biology is nature. Clarity is nurture. And alchemy, this is big. Alchemy is neutral. So we can start, if we have ourselves in a neutral position, then we can perform alchemy. And the way that we can do that is by bringing our A game. And to be attuned with our biology. I call this BBB. A bee, this is going to sound obvious. A bee is a bee is a bee. Yeah. It doesn't try and be a wasp. It doesn't try and be a sparrow or a blue tit. A bee is a bee is a bee. And a tree is a tree is a tree. And if you had an oak tree trying to be a palm tree, you'd be like, no, that's never going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And for biology, me needs to be me needs to be me. We've got to be who we're born to be. And the difficulty we've had up to this point is so often artists can't be who they're meant to be. So an artist can't pursue their dreams or follow what they want to do. But we're at this tipping point with tech. We're at this amazing moment in human history where we can, like, there's Kevin Kelly's essay, 1,000 True Fans. And he says that, like, we are in a position, and with tech, we're able to do this. So we're just at the forefront of things moving and changing and becoming something they could have never been before. So we really are at the most crucial point. And clarity is our currency. That's how we currently see. That's how we can see things and do things and operate differently. Okay. So let me just very quickly show you something here. It's the route that I take every day, okay, and how I do things. So if this is the day and how the day progresses, so this is the morning. So this is me time. And I don't have notifications on my phone, and I don't let anyone interrupt that. And that's me time, and that's thinking time. That's stillness and thinking time. Okay. Then this is we time. This is then to connect with other people and then to make the things happen that need to happen. Then this is free time. That's free flow. That's when everything comes together. That's when everything coalesces. And this is be time. And that can be bedtime as well. You know, that can be the evenings. But this is the system that I use. And this transforms everything. And there's two ways of operating. There's as I see it, we've got our nature and we've got our nurture. So in our nurture, we've got we must learn. How do we learn it? We need to fathom things out. And then once we understand things, then we can have faith. So we've got to fathom things out. And that is every day we bring, oh, I'm running out of room. We bring our personal best. Every day we bring our personal best. When we're then communicating with other people, we can copycat best practice and see what happens. I did the KPI training. I wouldn't have known any of those things, but that's best practice. So then we can copycat and use best practice of how we do things. Then we do something, and then does it feel to be right for me? So we use best practice, and then this is our free flow. We're then playing with these things. So when we're playing with this stuff, how does it feel? Does that feel right for me? And then we can integrate it. Now, this is a system I've been using. It's transformative. It's changed my life. And this is something that I want to share with you. And what I'd like to do, anyone that's interested in this, I would like to do what I call mirror mentoring, and work with people and see how this system works for you. I've already been doing work with Lisa on this, and also Fanny Snaith. We've been working on this so that we can share our ideas better than this presentation, because this is my first time. It will be better than this. This is the starting point, and I'm trying to summarize like 4 years of work in 40 minutes. So I'm going to be consolidating this into a document that I will share with you, and for you to see exactly the details that I've possibly missed, and to understand. And if you would be interested in doing this, then I am going to be rolling out a campaign from today. And I want as many people on board as possible to trial this before the 12th of September and give me feedback and see how it works for you, because it's absolutely changed my life. Now, I've realized this all makes sense in my head, and I've been struggling to articulate this. So I've possibly missed some things out, and I've possibly not been clear, and I'm not in a position that I can read the chat when I'm talking. So and another vital thing I think I might have missed is that I was diagnosed with ADHD 2 years ago, and and that's why I needed some systems to work to. So anyway, I'm getting a bit over the top. I will hush now and let someone feedback. And thank you for this. As you can appreciate, this is maybe not the most conventional Zoom call you've been on, but it's been supremely helpful for me. It's been so wonderful to see some friendly faces and some new faces, and thank you for everyone who's jumped on board with this, and everyone who's going to watch this on the replay. And this will just get better and better, and I can't wait to be working with people and see how it plays out for you. So thank you.
Beautiful, Paula. Thank you so very much. And the fascinating thing I observe is you keep apologizing that this is going to change, but you promise us that that's exactly what we have to do every 24 hours if we actually want to unleash our creative human. So I'd just give up apologizing for that. Start telling us that that's what we have to do. Wasn't that fascinating?
Everyone, you just need to chat. This is why I'm having trouble anchoring it down. This is why I want to do it today, because tomorrow it will be different. It changes that fast. But sorry, Mel, I'm really talking over you here, but I'm jumping on that point. This is why I'm struggling, because there's realizations and ahas every single day. But I've got the framework, and because of my ADHD, and then you have trouble with finishing. I need help. I need help. I need people on board for this, because I cannot carry on with this, because it's an amazing world for me and only me. But I want to see how we can make it work for other people. And it's been brilliant working with Lisa. I've been brilliant working with Fanny. I didn't know how the visuals were working at that point, and now I do. And we can share what I call like our one thing, WON, our one thing, our gift. We can share that with the world really succinctly. But I've actually got 4 years of project, so I'm struggling to summarize that on a single page, because there's so many strands to it, because it's about neurology, biology, all of these things. Okay, so it's such a good point. We grow and we change every day. The capacity of our minds is above and beyond anything, and every day gets better. So I will not apologize. Well, I probably will. It's one of my things, but
what you could do is say thank you for witnessing this iteration. Go do you, or me, B.
Yes. Thank you for witnessing this iteration.
Fantastic. And what an incredible iteration. Thank you, Paula. And, you know, personally, I just want to speak to the framework and the model, particularly what you've got behind you. It's beautiful. And of course, as humans, we try to put these things in boxes, pun intended. But humans cannot be in a box or shrink to fit a box. And I think that you're the absolute embodiment of your message. Every time I've witnessed this, we mentioned, we're in the mastermind with Lucy, it's familiar but dissimilar. And I love that about it, because for me, what you have embodied and what your message really is that we can evolve every 24 hours. And it's not we can, we should.
We do if we're conscious or not.
So what you want us to do is be conscious of it.
Yeah. So
then throw open that mind.
Yes.
All to get ADHD.
Yeah.
Catch that train and evolve.
Exactly. I'm so pleased you brought those things up, Mel, because like, you know, like where Laurie Ogden said, I did not act, I did not change. So I'm focusing on change. How do I change? Climate change. How do I change? But when you go to source, that's not what we are changing every minute, every second. We grow, we change. Okay.
You're trying to harness that in our 3D reality.
Yes.
So that we can get closer to source, perhaps.
What I've realized is that we can't change our mind that so rapidly, but what we can change rapidly is our heart. And if I could just give you, you'll get some nods here, that's what we can change. And that's the thing that is sent out of whack when our words are wrong. Because like my mum, I love my mum and I love my dad beyond measure. But it's like I was a cuckoo. I was born in the wrong nest, and they were these academic people that were very focused on money. And oh my God, we've got an artist. How do we deal with this? So the messaging I got from them was very negative about being an artist. And my dad loved my work, and he was in turmoil because I never made money doing it. Okay. So there's this thing I wanted to share, and I covered it with a piece of paper on my desk, that Jill Bolte Taylor came out with, and she was a huge inspiration for me in the project. And I can't find the bit of paper, but I pretty much know it off the top of my head. So Jill Bolte Taylor is a neuroanatomist, and she did a TED talk that was called My Stroke of Insight. And I heard her on Mo Gaudat's show, and something that she said that I found so profound was that we have the voice in our head, the ants in our head are the size of a peanut. And I thought, I'm not going to have a peanut. I mean, I've got a nut allergy, so I haven't had nuts being pretty prescriptive with me, to be fair. But I thought, I'm not going to have cells tell me what's what in my head if it's purely chemical. She then came out with two other things that have been profound in the project, or I think there's a third as well. But one of the other ones was that we are feeling creatures that think. So when Sir David Attenborough said what we must do, I then said, well, if he's saying we must learn, but everything else we might like not to do this, not to do that, not power, food, space, and time. And he said those things, that's what we don't do. So then that's the 180 of that. Okay, so she said that we're feeling creatures that think. So if we feel first, and for the first 2 years, we're picking up on everything in the world energetically, and then we're receiving it, and then it doesn't make sense to the words we're then hearing. So that has guided the project, that we're feeling creatures that think. That links to the next thing that she said about the 90-second rule. So the 90-second rule is that if a feeling comes up within you, but you don't give it energy, physiologically, it takes 90 seconds for that to wash out of your system chemically and for you to resettle. Now, and this is something I'd like to ask you to test, if that's okay. I've got like a 180-second rule. I've doubled it, because not only do I want that to flood out of your system, if we then come in with a crowding out, then instead of having that negative thought that's probably someone else's thought, and that's a belief system, blah, 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 follow it up with something that does serve us, something that is from us, something that is true to our heart. So I believe we can change our heart within 2.4 seconds. However, in terms of replacing it with something different, please, can you, for an experiment for me, and get back to me on this, in 3 minutes, can we let a negative thought come and go in that space of time? Please try that and link that together with breath work. I believe that breath work has saved my life literally on this project. I have a deliberate breath practice. I think of it as microdosing meditation. All of the time I have deliberate breath practice. Like, there's a thing called email apnea. People turn on their emails and stop breathing. I deliberately focus on my breathing, and it changes our brainwave state completely. And it's so powerful. You bring these things together. We can, this is part of my system that I've developed, is the neurological and the biological ways of dealing with our body. Because I thought that I was going to potentially be getting a chronic health condition at 60. I'm 55. My sister is 57. So she is potentially 2.5 years away. That may or may not happen. But what we inherited wasn't just our genes, it was our habits. And this has changed everything, because we are living a false life, telling ourselves words that we don't believe. And then we are literally making ourselves ill. And my mum and my dad, my dad was of the opinion he would be dead in his 50s, because his dad was. His dad had electric shock treatment and died of a brain aneurysm. I don't think that's genetic. sorry, Grandad, never met them. but you know, we believe the wrong things, and it is killing us. So not only are we not living the life we're born to live, we're living an unhappy life with things that we don't know. We owe it to ourselves to bring our personal best every day, our personal best. Guess what? Everyone does. We've already signed that as soon as you woke up. And if you didn't wake up, you still brought your personal best. Every day we bring our personal best. But then it's best practice. That's the key. Best practice. My mum didn't know how to teach me how to be an artist. Guess what? She'd never been one, so she wouldn't have a clue. And my dad, to explain things on a kitchen table, would move the salt and pepper pots about to make a sort of demonstration. They weren't creatives like me, so they couldn't teach me best practice. So best practice in business, I've got like from books from Lucy, and from business from Lisa, because I didn't know it. So we learn best practice, but then we need to have this free flow to know how it feels in us. How does that feel? That feels good. And then we integrate it within our systems. And that makes all the difference. So what I want to do in September, on the 22nd of September, I want to open a gift shop. Because once you go to an exhibition, you end up in the gift shop, but I'm going 180. So we start with a gift shop. I'm going to give everything I've done away in September, all of it. I'm going to give it away. Now, the copycat model I'm using for that is Volvo. In the 1950s, they free licensed the 3-point seatbelt because it could save lives. I want to give away, I haven't invented this, I've just discovered it, I've found it, because I had time to go down rabbit holes. So on the 22nd of September, that would be my mum and dad's wedding anniversary, I am giving everything away. And I want to work with people so that anyone, all of you on the call, anyone watching, anyone that wants to give away their one thing and find out what it is and narrow it down. And I've only learnt to bring the words in. And here's the big one. There's BP is also blueprint. That's the thing that we actually operate. We operate by our natural blueprint, but also we update our blueprint every 24 hours. That's the bit I'm struggling with. My blueprint keeps on moving, but also we then have a red act. So we, instead of react, we red act. When we're breathing, we choose our moments, we choose our words, we choose our next steps. We're thinking of the future, not of the past. It changes everything. But what happened and what changed, sorry, Mel, I know you want to come in, just one thing, just super quick. One thing super quick. The big game changer that I've only discovered in the last 2 weeks, which is why it's changing even faster, is that there's a code red. We have to, there are codes before us every single day, and we've got to be able to read the signs, because there's symbology, there's messages, there's answers, there's guidance, and it's the code red I want to share with you, and I want to get super fast on. So I've got a GoFundMe page that I'll be updating and then sending out to people. If people want to jump on board with that, I want to share as much as I can with you. You can offer anything that you want. I will give you the limited edition toolbook from today, and everything is going to be going out for free in September. Then I will have artifacts that I'll be selling as well. But if anyone is interested in this, I will work with anybody to develop this as a mirror mentoring thing as well, which is a currency exchange program that I'd be happy to do with people. I haven't worked out all the T's and C's. It's not my strong suit. But sorry, Mel, jump in, please.
Well, actually, Paul, I just really wanted to sort of close the loop, as it were, because you opened this with the poem, which was about I did not change, I don't know why. And so what I'm taking away from this is that we focus on our change. And when we focus on our change, then we won't be asking the question, I don't know why. Everything will flow from that. Would that be a good takeaway?
Yes. Yes, 100%.
And if somebody doesn't have ants, what I see is that if somebody doesn't have ants, you've got 1,000 other ways in which they can change every 24 hours. And if they have ants, they can relate to it. And you have your model, that one that's behind you, that puts me at the center, that accesses me infinity, that then creates the change that will then create the change. Would that be a good summation?
Sure thing. If I can just add a little, if I may.
You surprise me. That's so
you thought I was
unlikely.
going to be like gobsmacked and silent, and
well, I just, it's unusual for you to add a bit more.
you probably got the control to mute me. So, but we say about change. Our change will naturally happen. The thing I want people to take away is that take charge. We can take charge of it's like we've got a door policy. Your name's not down, you're not coming in. I've completely rewritten the words in what I call my sub-store. So that's the material I draw from. It's all my words. It's all my words. Our neurons update 400 every day. I have got 500,000 new neurons since I started this project. I'm doing this from the September with as many people as want to jump on board. And I want to do it's going to be so I won't go into more details about that. I'll put that into a document, but I want as many people on board with this, because if we're doing this together, we're all working on this together. Imagine if everyone has a million, you will have 500,000 new neurons anyway, if you're doing this or not. But if in 2 weeks, if you're not putting them to good use, they will atrophy. That's how the mind works. And I'm not, sorry, that sounds a bit like hostile, but what I'm saying is, if you're not doing something that you enjoy, that you're passionate about, that you love, then your new neurons are just diminishing. Yeah, and why have we got ADHD as we have? People are doing stuff that they don't want to do, that they're not interested in. It's not attention deficit disorder, it's intention. Their intentions aren't aligned to their hearts. Beautiful. And I thought I was making sculptures and it's what I was wanting to do, but making no money wasn't what I wanted to do. And I've developed a system for us to be able to operate, and I've created a money system for us to be able to do that in as well. And I
Beautiful.
want as many people to jump on board as possible. So there we go.
I love the fact that Maxina said, can ADHD be cured, as if it's an illness or as if it's
Well, yeah, no, but
an
some of
affliction?
the impacts of it, I think, is more is that correct?
Can it be unleashed into a superpower?
Yeah, I mean, you could spend maybe 4 years working on a climate change that turns into a climate change project, and then
For somebody who doesn't like words,
unexpected, you were expecting it. It's like people on a Friday afternoon.
for somebody who doesn't like words, you are very artistic with them.
Oh, you wait till you see some things. I do. I love words, but words didn't love me because I had the wrong ones that were fighting me. So
That's a good point. Well made.
But can I just thank everyone who's on the call, and I do want to say just a couple of thanks. I want to say a huge thanks to Lisa, because I didn't know you were jumping on this call, and that means the world to me. And everyone who's on the call, because we've all got a lot of other things that we can be doing. So I really, really, really appreciate you all for being here. Especially Lucy, because she's been hearing about this project for so long. I think I've spent more time talking about this to Lucy than my wife. And my wife is sick of it. So Lucy, thank you. And Michaela, you've just been brilliant. And stepping in at last minute, Melanie, and everyone's kind of doing name checking everyone, but thank you. If you can do some of the things like see if the 3-minute thing can work for you, focus on your breath. Chances are you're doing these things already, but do it deliberately. Because if we're rapid breathing and we're not in, our prefrontal cortex is offline and we're in fight or flight, then we cannot function. Our stomach doesn't work. We can't digest food. And I honestly am of the opinion we don't have a problem with food. We have a problem with stress. And people are not able to be proper, aligned with their truth and who they are and how they operate, because their system is shutting off and not enabling them to do what they need to do.
Thank you for that.
I've overrun, so forgive me.
Well, Paula, just to wind up this, do you have an email waitlist that they can sign up for, or where can we go to find more information and to join this?
I haven't done, this is all analog up to now.
Do you want to write an email on the blackboard behind you?
I don't know it off the top of my head. Can hang on, let me look it up. Should I put it in the chat or not? What's the best thing? I'm getting shaken. No to that. I don't know my email off the top of my head. I got shut out my email and I don't know my new one. Can I put this into the follow-up thing? Because the point is that I've had to do all this on analog, because that's how I think.
This is and spatially.
A and D, analog and digital, and then there's DNA, and that's what I'm going to start this afternoon and get to you, good folks, the digital version of this. So, and thank you for everyone, and I've overrun, and I appreciate your time, and I haven't read any of the comments, so I will save those.
I think you thanking everyone covers that. So beautiful. It's our turn to thank you, Paula, for your genius and for being you and your presentation today. Can't wait for it to reach wider in the world and for you to launch properly, and see you in September.
Thank you. And if we can just not drop off immediately, I need to save the chat if that's okay. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Thank you, Paula, for a wonderfully stimulating session. And so if people want to get in touch, Paula will follow up. Don't worry. It's infinity. It's infinity time.
I'm going to be doing a very busy promotion this afternoon. So
there you go. We will catch you out there somewhere, completely certain of that. Lots of thanks and love in the chat for you, Paula.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the other side.